Hi, Bluetooth. Oh my god, bright light. Hold on. Hi, Bluetooth. So, this is my reaction rant to, what episode? Episode 11, Season 3 of Supergirl, which I believe is titled Fort Rozz. The reason why I'm in this position right now is because I'm currently sick. And it's past midnight. Anyway, what do I remember? Samantha. Samantha is preparing to go on a trip. Most likely it's rain related, and she has no idea. And so Ruby is left in the care of Alex, who during the episode had Alex and Ruby bond, which I think is really, really cute. And I really extremely like the fact that during the episode, Ruby has been cyberbullied by a young girl at her school. Sorry, I keep looking that way because I keep seeing something. But anyway, at one point in the episode, Alex actually goes all like detective-y kind of cop persona kind of thing going on and confronts the cyberbully girl at her own home. Even threatens to like arrest her, which I thought was pretty freaking funny. So I like that cute little bonding moment between Ruby and Alex. I thought it was really cute, especially how Alex wanted to be a mom. She's kind of like taking up that secondary mom role with Ruby, which I think is kind of cool. Hang on. Any hoots. Look at my light right here. Can you see the light? No, you cannot. Can you see me now? Anyway. Anywhoots, yeah, like apparently my auto night thing does not detect very well. See, look at that. Anyway. Oh my god, there you go. Where do I have to put this in order for, there you go. Anyway. During the episode, the team pretty much finds out that there's a priestess that knows, Reign's true purpose. But the problem is, she's locked away on Fort Rozz. If you guys remember, Supergirl took that entire giant frickin' floating prison and shoved it into space. And apparently, that Fort Rozz ended up right next to what we believe is a blue star. And for those who don't know, the blue star, pretty much, it's too bright. The blue star basically drains Supergirl of all her power, so she's basically immortal. Like, for real, she's like, when she's near a blue star, she's practically immortal. She's practically human. She's not an alien anymore. And for some reason, this blue star not only drains Supergirl's powers, but it's emitting some sort of radiation that's apparently only toxic to males. So Kara can't bring Wynn, can't bring Jean, can't bring James. She can't even bring Mon-El, because he's a dude. So Imra volunteers to go with her, because duh, she's a girl. Anyway, hang on, there you go. And she volunteers to go, and ironically enough, Supergirl decides to bring two female villains to help out. One is Livewire, aka our dear friend Leslie. You remember Leslie, how she hated Catco? I believe Leslie at one point worked for Catco and got fired or something like that, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, there's Psy. If you guys remember who Psy was that metahuman girl whose psychic prowess was so powerful she even freaking topped Jean at one point, and she revealed the greatest, darkest, deepest fear of Supergirl at one point. So I was like, that's an interesting person to bring. Out of all the female villains, I'm pretty sure they have, bringing Psy is a very interesting thing. But anyway, they pilot the ship, the Legion ship, and they get there. But apparently, remember Samantha, how she was traveling? Yeah, it was definitely Reign related, because Reign's in her fortress, her own little Kryptonian fortress, and learns from that hologram lady that she has, kind of like how Kara had her mother. She learns of Kara's little mission to get to the priestess at Fort Rozz, so she herself is provided a ship to intercept them, right? Anyway, there's a lot of shit going on especially when it comes to Sai, you know. She's butting heads with Livewire, like crossing insults, obviously, and like she even has a thing with shit, what's her face? Imra at one point. I'm not gonna get too much into that, but they do manage to get to Fort Rozz, and as they're getting in there and everything, I'm sorry, I thought I heard something outside, but anyway, shoot, what else happened? They did manage to locate the priestess, but unfortunately, Rain shows up and manages to kill the priestess, but apparently, just before Rain killed the priestess managed to tell Kara that Rain is not the only world killer on Earth, that there are actually several others just like her on Earth. So, at least the priestess didn't die for nothing, you know? At least we got that bit of information out of her before Rain killed her. And of course, there's this battle, and of course, Imra and Sai were actually back in the ship. It was actually Livewire and Supergirl that were there in Fort Rozz. And before all that Rain bullshit happened, they did have a little heart-to-heart, which I thought was pretty interesting, because Kara's all telling Livewire, hey, there's good in you and all that stuff, you know, and all that shit. And it looked like it was working a little bit. You know, it's like you could see it in Livewire's eyes, even though the way she acts and the way she talks speak differently. If you look at her eyes, that mean exterior was like crumbling right there, which I thought was pretty damn cool. Anyway, my arm. Anyway, yes, these are like ginormous bags under my eyes right now because I was not feeling well at all, and that caused some serious tears coming out, and now I have ginormous bags under my eyes, so yeah, sickness sucks. Anyway, hang on, I'm switching arms. Anyway, of course, during the battle, Supergirl and Livewire are getting a bit overpowered by Rain. And what I thought was pretty damn cool, even though Kara got knocked back and it was Livewire versus Rain, there was a moment where Rain has Livewire by the neck and Livewire grabs her arm and is like, "Don't hurt my friends." And I thought that was a pretty interesting thing. I was like, Supergirl actually did get to Livewire. She actually did, because why would she say that if she didn't otherwise, right? Yeah, but she uses a substantial amount of power to break out of Rain's grip, and of course that left her a little bit weak, and so Rain was going to finish her off, and so Supergirl's like, just take me, kill me instead, right? And so Rain decides, okay, I'll kill you, and then I'll get your friend over here, right? But what really broke my heart is as Rain is about to kill Kara, hang on, put it, hi, this is what's happening right now, because of the reason why I'm doing this right here, is because I don't know if you guys know, but my phone is kind of old, and apparently for my pictures, oh my god, for my pictures it does the auto night thing, but apparently for recording it does not. But anyway, what happened? Oh yeah, Rain's about to kill Kara, but as she's shooting her lasers at her, and another thing I forgot to mention, when Rain shows up and kills the priestess, Kara's in shock. She's like, oh my god, you have your powers, because, you know, she believed her to be Kryptonian and all that shit. And she's like, unlike you, I'm not affected by a blue star or sunlight and all that, the yellow sun and all that stuff, right? So I thought that was a very interesting thing, because we saw the pod leave Krypton. So she's obviously kind of Kryptonian. Why doesn't she get the handicaps? I'm just saying. But anyway, just as Rain is about to kill Kara with a laser beam, her laser eyes, Leslie, our beloved Livewire, jumps in front of Kara and takes the hit. Of course, I am freaking devastated because Kara was finally getting through to Leslie. Only for that shit to happen, man. And back on the ship with Imra and Sai's like, I'm gonna go after her, right? I'm gonna go fight Rain. Take this damn power dampener off my head. Of course, Imra's very hesitant because, bad guy, but she has no choice because they need help. And so after Leslie gets beamed in the chest, or I think either her abdomen or her chest, Sai shows up, one-on-one Sai versus Rain, and I thought this was a pretty badass fight because she didn't even have to do anything. She just had to activate her greatest fear. And keep this in mind, one body, two different subconsciousness. We got the subconscious of Rain, but we also still have the human side of Samantha in there. So when Rain used her fear thing, it showed Samantha's greatest fear, which was losing Ruby, her daughter. And so you saw Rain crack. And at one point you actually saw some humanity. Of course, she still looked like Rain, her voice still sounded like Rain, but at one point she's like, where am I? What's happening? And then she turned around and saw Supergirl. She's like, Supergirl? Like, she was surprised. But it was Rain's voice. And then Rain quickly took over again and pretty much escaped, right? And unfortunately, our beloved Livewire died pretty much in Kara's arms, which really broke my heart. I was like, are you for real? Leslie was finally almost coming around. But anyway, as a thank you, when they got back to Earth, as a thank you, Kara asked them to give Sai better accommodations. And of course we get a smile from Sai, so maybe there's some hope for Sai as well, And, we also have a caramel moment where, Mon-El is trying to comfort Kara over the death of Leslie, which I thought was kind of cute. But toward the end, we get an Alex and Samantha moment where Samantha's like, I'm missing time. There are times when apparently I say things to Ruby that I'm going on a trip, and I don't remember ever going on a trip. I just remember being home the entire time. I'm missing stuff. She's in her eyes, she's having memory loss. Like, she's having moments where she blanks out and she does things and says things that she knows she didn't say or do. So she's asking Alex to help her figure out what's happening to her. So you feel very sorry for Samantha, because it's like, oh my god. If I was in Samantha's shoes and apparently I tell family, hey, I'm going on a trip. Apparently tell my family I'm going on a trip, but then I remember never saying that to them, I would be kind of scared. And I am missing time too, so I'd kind of freak out. But anyway, this episode was a wow episode, mainly because we saw redemption in Leslie, aka Livewire, and there is a possibility of Sai's redemption because of that smile she had toward the end when Supergirl asked to give her better accommodations. So maybe there's some hope for Sai to actually be a hero, just like Leslie. She's just a little more demented than Leslie. She's more monotone than Leslie. How about that? Because Leslie is a little more talkative than Sai. Sai, she kind of sounds like a robot when she talks to me, in my opinion. But anyway, this is my reaction rant to Season 3, Episode 11, titled Fort Rozz of Supergirl. Bye, guys.